Mountain Dweck trolley gummy worm flavor? Don't mind if I do. Oh, this is zero sugar. That's odd. I wonder if I accidentally grabbed zero sugar by mistake or if this was only in zero sugar. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected trolley gummy worm Mountain Dew to taste like. That's kind of dead on. I need to frame my shot better. 2025 has come and gone, and frankly, good riddance, but some movies did come out, and I enjoyed most of them. Although, despite feeling like I got out to theaters more this year, I've seen fewer movies, I think, than I usually have at this time of year. And it's because I didn't really cram for the Oscars like I usually do. I watched a few movies I was interested in seeing, like, just in these past few weeks to try to catch up. I've even got Bugonia downloaded, so I'm gonna try to watch that before the Oscars, and if I finish that before I get this video out, I'll, like, record myself and insert it somewhere. That said, most of the stuff I watched this year was pretty good. Like, everything is a strong 6 or above, except for one film, War of the Worlds, which is actually scores infinity. But it scores so high and is so good that it actually, there's an overflow error and it's ended up at the bottom of the ranking. I don't know how that happened. So we have to rank War of the Worlds last. Because it's too good. God, War of the Worlds is so much fun. Like, it has been a while since I have seen a bad movie like that. So since I have seen, like, an actually trash movie, but, like, a fun actually trash movie. Like, it's so hilarious. Like, it's so fun to point and laugh at. I love War of the Worlds. I would sooner rewatch War of the Worlds than, like, most of what is on this list. I did make a video going over why I think it fails at its message, but that is, like, one thing it does wrong in a sea of mistakes. Apparently this was filmed over COVID during the pandemic, but it's like, okay, why did you decide to release it now? Like, it sucks. It wasn't worth it. This wasn't worth filming in COVID, and it wasn't worth releasing in fucking 2025. But fumbling its message, again, only one problem. There's, like, so many just bad acting moments, bad writing moments, weird editing choices. Ice Cube's own camera will, like, cut to a different shot. And that's not how webcam. You would always be seeing you. There would be no delay in you. The delay that happens in a call like that happens because like someone's internet is trying to catch up, right? Your camera wouldn't do that, and anytime it cuts, it's always to him going like. It's like that one fucking like TikTok dude who just like he's like typing and googling like conspiracy theories and then he'll make a face like that's this movie. That's this whole movie. That's Ice Cube through this whole movie. I love War of the Worlds. If you love bad movies, you owe it to yourself to watch War of the Worlds because holy shit, this movie is so fucking funny. I love War of the Worlds. I have not seen a bad movie this good in a long, long time. Alright, let's move on to some movies that are not as good as War of the Worlds, but are technically better than War of the Worlds. Elio is the new Pixar movie, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't much. You know, like it feels like there needs to be something more. It's like aspiring to be a Pixar movie, but it's not quite there. I'll give them credit. Like I do feel like they've kind of lost that like old Pixar spirit. So it's nice to see them try, but the fact that they missed the mark and like it's kind of obvious to me why it misses the mark too. I don't know if I could totally vocalize it in this short form content, but like it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it for me. There's a lot of good stuff to the movie. I didn't have a bad time watching this one, and there's a lot I appreciate about it, but it's just I don't know. It does like the emotions don't land the way they should, I think, is maybe the main problem. Like they're going for these big emotional beats and they just don't quite land for me. They just don't quite do it. But, there's fun stuff in it. It didn't deserve to like flop as bad as it did, but I I fully blame Disney on that one cuz like they announced its release date and then it got pushed back and they like didn't really do a good job advertising it when it actually came out. And I think people were kind of like, wait, didn't it already come out or what was that? What is that? Where like currently Hoppers is doing really well, and you know what? I have actually seen like advertising for Hoppers in a way I have not. I didn't for Elio. Whatever, Elio, it's decent, it's fine. Kids will probably like it. Like I'm not. It's a simple movie for kids, but I don't know. Pixar in their heyday could make a kids movie that even adults enjoyed. So I don't know how good an excuse that is. DogMan. I am a huge fan of George and Harold. They were a huge influence on me, so I'm glad they finally got one of their comics up on the big screen. Yeah, this is from Captain Underpants writer Dave Pilkey, and I remember Dogman, but I was kinda aging out of it by that point. Like, I had kinda gotten past my Captain Underpants phase, so I didn't really keep up with Dogman the way I did with Captain Underpants. I think I only read like the first one. I might not even have read the first one. It might have been like the second or third one that I read, and not but I only read one of them. That's the thing. I only read one of them. But I mean, cool to see this movie. Cool to see it. I don't know, almost get Spider-Verse treatment. Like, okay, it is to Dogman as like Spider-Verse to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a far more serious character. Dogman is like a crappy cartoon that some kids drew. The crappy looking, I should say. It's a well-written comic. Much respect to George and Harold. Not great artists. So it's like Spider-Man's up here, Spider-Verse is up here. Dogman, he's down here, but his movie's down here. And it has that action. It has that Spider-Verse style. I don't know. Like, if your kid likes Dogman, they'll probably love this one. Like, I didn't get that much out of it, but it's not for me. I don't think I'm the target audience for this film. If you love Dogman, you will probably love this movie. And I mean, shit, I had a good time with it. It was a very fun movie. I wasn't disappointed at all to go see it in theater. I saw this one in theaters, and it's a good way to spend an afternoon, Go see Dogman. I don't think I ever need to watch it again in my life, but it was a fun afternoon. Succubi Night Live. I don't know if I can even explain to you why I watched a movie this fucking obscure. I think I am still the only person to have logged this movie on Letterboxd. So, here's my fucking deep cut. Okay, there's this podcast I really like, the Important Cinema Club, and every year one of the hosts, Justin, puts out Justin DeClue, there it is. He puts out a super scary movie challenge, and one of them was to watch a movie from Kazakhstan. It was to watch a horror movie from Kazakhstan. So I just Googled horror movies from Kazakhstan and found the title Succubi Night Live. That just rang my bell. I'm like, yeah, let's watch that one. That sounds interesting. And it is this very strange, very amateur film that I ended up really liking because of all the there's a lot of self-reflection in this. It's a very, I don't know, it's an indie artist self-analyzing a lot, but there's also a succubus story in there somewhere. So yeah, it's fun. It's an interesting movie. I enjoyed myself with this one. It is very rough, very cheap, and very meandering. There's not a lot of plot to this one. there's not a lot of plot to this one. You kind of have to accept it as just like an artist expressing themselves in a very blunt and direct way with a tangential story about a succubus going on. I don't know. I watched it. That's something. I'm probably one of the few. It's on YouTube. You want to go watch it? It's on YouTube. Is it like the greatest indie movie I've ever seen? God, no. I've seen much better like productions on this level like in recent years. So you can do better on no budget, but I mean for a no budget project, it's pretty enjoyable. There's a lot to dig into with this one. I like it. Where we at above that? Oh, Wicked for Good. I think Wicked for Good was better than Wicked Part 1. Brighter colors. They fixed the colors. I like the colors in this one a lot better. I think there's more story to it. It's structured a little better because it's Part 2. I also think, the themes it dives into are, like, extremely topical, are extremely relevant to the things that are going on right now, so I appreciate that. I like the political undertones of Wicked. I like what they have to say here. There are some things that make me raise an eyebrow. I've heard people say Wicked is like a weird, not that good book, and like there's parts of this where I'm like, maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe that is like even worse in the book. Like she ends up with the fucking scarecrow? What? She clearly should have ended up with Galinda. Like, what the fuck? Like they are like this fucking close to kissing in this movie. I think the filmmakers like actually do ship these two. It's so gay. And then it's like, oh yeah, and then she marries, I don't know, the Scarecrow, and it's like, but why was he the Scarecrow though? What the fuck? There is some bad prequelitis in this. Like this has some severe prequelitis. Like, oh, we have to explain everything from the Wizard of Oz. It all has to connect to this story. Except Dorothy, whose inclusion I thought was... She was hilariously absent. Like, she's in there a little bit, but she's hilariously absent from the main plot of this story. I liked that. I also think this had the better track list. Like, I liked all of... Like, there were some in the first one I'm like, I'm not feeling this one. I liked most of what was in the first one, but there were a few I was iffy on. And this one, I think, much more solid track list. I think this one got the better songs. Yeah, and that's all of the 6s. I think I'm gonna stop recording right now, because I gotta hop on with Spiny Norman. So, blame Spiny Norman for this random break here. Alright, we're back. With some more natural lighting. Yeah. And Door County Quencher's Cherry. A taste of Door County soda. I went out to Door County last year, but I didn't get this there. I got this at the local farmer's market. That's pretty good. Good work, Door County. Door County is just a cool place. I recommend it. Where were we? Zootopia 2. Zootopia, if you will. I saw it and I'm like, I might like this more than the first one. And a lot of other people I have heard talk about it have said they like it better than the first one. But it's been a little while since I've seen the first one, so I need to revisit it. I certainly think the racial politics of this movie land a lot better than they did in the first movie. Like, I kind of get some of what they were going for in the first movie, but, like, I don't know, I almost feel like it only really works as, like, a purely fictional thing. Like, it is not analogous to anything in the real world. It's just sort of like, oh, people discriminate, and we shouldn't let discrimination like that come between us, This one, I think, works a little better as, like, an allegory for what we see in the real world. I don't know. I have problems with the racial politics of the first Zootopia. Otherwise, it's a pretty good film. I like Zootopia a lot. And this sequel is easily the best sequel Disney's ever put out. The theatrical sequel Disney's ever put out. I don't know how it stands up against the straight-to-video sequels, but certainly it's better than Wreck-It Ralph 2, or, I actually haven't seen Frozen 2. I couldn't tell you if it was better than Frozen 2, but no one seems to like Frozen 2. Even the Frozen defenders don't seem to like Frozen 2. Rescuers Down Under is, eh. Is that it? Is that all the sequels they've put out? I feel like I'm forgetting one. I feel like I'm forgetting a really big one that was, like, really bad. But I can't remember what it is. Oh, they did that dumbass Moana too. That was practically a straight-to-video movie because it was just 3 episodes of a canceled TV show stitched together. Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps are the most queer-baity hetero couple ever put to film. Like, it feels like they should just be dating. Everything about this says that they should just be dating. They, like, it seems like they're hinting at a relationship rather than actually having one. Which is something you do for the gay characters when Disney won't let you make them gay. Like, they have a fight in a honeymoon suite that full of like hearts that falls apart, that like cracks in half. That's the type of shit you do to 2 male characters you want to imply are gay, but Disney won't let you be gay. And it's like, why are we doing this to the hetero couple? Just let them date. They should just date. I'm not even, like, I am the last person who's gonna be like, oh yeah, the male character and the female character should get together. Like, I kinda hate that. But in this one case, it's like, yeah, kinda seems like they're supposed to be. They make a really good couple. They're a better couple than like 90% of the couples in the Disney catalog. 90% of like the actual couples in the Disney catalog. Both of them are well-rounded characters, and they have like really good communication skill. Like they communicate in this movie. It is a problem. It is a problem they have to overcome, but like by the end, they have really good communication skills in this film, and it's like, yeah, they really work as a couple in a way most of the other couples don't. They're a more complex couple than a lot of the rest of the Disney catalog, I guess is my point. The movie's funny. It's a pretty funny. I enjoyed most of the gags. Some of them were a little obvious. Some of them were a little on the nose. I knew going in. This is a spoiler. If you care at all about Zootopia 2 spoilers, you should just skip ahead a little here. I knew going in there was a twist villain, and knowing that, I was able to identify who it was almost immediately. I'm like, it's that guy. It's for sure that guy. And I was right. It was for sure that guy. But there's also a part of me that's like, would I have suspected him if I didn't? Would I have suspected him if I didn't know there was a twist villain? And I don't know. I think I certainly would have questioned it a little. I would have been like, maybe, because he has really clear motivation. That's the thing. Like he does work, I think, maybe more as a twist villain than the original films, because like it makes sense for him. It makes sense that he is the twist villain. He has like really clear motivation here. But it's also kind of what makes it obvious that he's going to be the twist villain. What else is there to say about Zootopia 2? I had a fun time. Oh, there's a character named Jesus, which implies the characters know about Christianity? And it implies that like, the animals are aware of Jesus? And you could say, okay, well, maybe was there an animal Jesus? Was Jesus an animal? But I say, I have always, like, the first Zootopia movie always struck me as a, like, post-apocalyptic film. Like, humans have been wiped out, and the animals have evolved and, like, built society on top of where ours was. And this, I think, adds to that theory. They know what Christianity is. They've brought Christianity over from human society because there's a character named Jesus. Jesus. He's a funny character too. I like all the reptiles in this film. They're all very funny. Like I did kind of like that the first Zootopia film stuck exclusively to mammals, but I think the way they have added reptiles to this world really works. It's a good sequel. You don't get sequels this good very often. I enjoyed Zootopia too. The new Naked Gun movie. Frankly, I really ought to give the original Naked Gun a rewatch because I like everything else that like the Zucker comedy trio did. I love Top Secret. I love Airplane. I love Police Squad. And then I watched The Naked Gun and I'm like, it's not as funny as Police Squad. Police Squad was funnier. But I don't know, maybe I should give it a second chance. Maybe I should, divorce it from the expectations of the Police Squad TV show. Hilarious show. It only ran 6 episodes. Like, you owe it to yourself to watch Police Squad. It's only 6 episodes. It's 6 episodes for a dumb reason. That's something that's a story worth telling, but not right now. The new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson coming out of retirement, I think almost entirely because his name kind of sounds like Leslie Nielsen. But I mean, he's great in the lead in this movie. I think it's hilarious that like all of the characters are descendants of the characters from the first film. They're all in the hall looking at like the pictures of their fathers, like, oh, Dad, you done it for me. I miss you so much, Dad. It's a good gag. There's a lot of good gags in this. That's the thing. It does work. The gags really work. The plot is just Kingsman. It's just Kingsman. They just straight up do Kingsman again. Otherwise, like the gags are funny. The story could be stronger. Oh, I liked Pamela Anderson in this too. I was like, oh, who is she? I don't recognize this actress. She's doing pretty well in this. It was Pamela Anderson. I'm like, huh. I'm here for the Pamela Anderson renaissance. Let's do it. Bring back Pamela Anderson. Let her be funny. So that's the thing. Like, Naked Gun, it's a comedy movie. If you just want to hear some funny jokes, here you go. There are comedy movies that are like more complex than that. Even the aforementioned Kingsman, I think, has a lot more going on for it. But, Naked, like, it's nice to see a studio comedy like that. The studios don't really do comedies like this anymore. Certainly not the like gag after gag after gag after gag comedies. So it's just nice to see that coming out of a major studio, Speaking of remakes of 80s comedies that are wonderful gag after gag after gag movies, we've got the Toxic Avenger remake. I don't know how fair it is to put this on my 2025 list since it was finished like 2 or 3 years ago and was just sitting on the shelf because no one wanted to release it. But I mean, even like once Bloody Disgusting got the rights to it, like they got it a wide release. It was playing at AMC and like it was a decent crowd there when I went. They even have Toxic Avenger popcorn tins. I got one up here. Hold on. I got my Toxie action figure sitting in here, but this is for the new Toxic Avenger. So like, I don't know what everyone was scared of. I don't know why this couldn't get a release before this year. Not the last time I'm gonna say that in this video. Whew. I enjoy Toxic Avenger. It's pretty funny. Peter Dinklage does really good in the lead. He's a really good Toxie in this. He's very funny. And it's a remake that really carves out its own identity while staying true to some of the themes and ideas of the original. It really works. Like the only point where they're really doing like a direct remake of something that happened in the original is the robbers at the fast food place, and that is like the best scene in Toxic Avenger, so it makes a lot of sense that it's the one that made it into this one. Granted, it is the place where this film kind of shows its weakness, which is that it's like almost entirely CG gore, and I'm like, the CG gore, it just doesn't do it for me like the practical gore. And to be fair, there's some great practical effects in this movie. I love Peter Dinklage's makeup in this, the outfit they had, the suit, the actual like Toxie costume he has to wear. I really like it. But the CG gore, it just doesn't quite do it for me. Like, it's fine. I don't hate it, but God, would this movie pop so much more with some like practical gore. But for what it's worth, it's a funny movie. It's a remake with its own clear identity. It's weird the amount of star power they pulled for a Toxic Avenger remake. Kevin Bacon is in this. Elijah Wood is in this. Peter Dinklage is the main character. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I was happy to see the new Toxic Avenger remake. It doesn't mean as much to me as the original, but like, it was never going to. I don't think you could make a movie today that worked on the level of the original Toxic Avenger. Not unless you like really went out of your way to use like old school tech. You would have to film it on like Super 8 or some shit to make it work. Like the way movies are made today, you just can't make Toxic Avenger. Oh, moving on up the list, it's the new Bong movie, Mickey 17. Which is a good time. I really liked Mickey 17. It is not Bong's strongest. I'll tell you that much. It's no Parasite. It's not even really Snowpiercer. But it's enjoyable. It's interesting. The thing is, it's got a lot of really good world building. I really like the world building this movie sets up. And the plot is like... like, it's not a bad plot. By no means is it a bad plot. But it's not like the greatest. Like, the world building is carrying this movie, I think. That and like some really good performances. Robert Pattinson does great in this one. I don't like. He's got such an odd range. Like it's a character I didn't really expect from him. So I'm kind of shocked by the amount of range Robert Pattinson has managed to have. He's a good actor. He's a really good actor. It's so weird. If Twilight didn't exist and you told me Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart were gonna be in like a vampire romance movie together, I'd be like, that sounds incredible, actually. Superman, the brand new Superman from James Gunn. It's good. This is the best this is maybe just the best Superman movie. I like Superman and Superman 2, but like, I think this is probably like they have their weird quirks about them. They have things about them I'm not that into. To be fair, I do think the new Superman ends up with like a little bit of the pacing issues that plague a lot of modern superhero movies. Only a little. They do keep it moving along pretty well, but just a bit. It does. it falls into like a few too many of the like the problems with modern superhero films. To be fair though, it's one of the best superhero movies I've seen in a long, long time. Like, oh my god, we have really been struggling this decade. Like, I mean, okay, there was the Batman. The Batman was good, but like, that hardly counts. I don't think it's Batman. Batman's usually pretty good. Not always, but usually pretty good. Unlike Superman, who hasn't been good since the 80s. Since 1980, actually. Since 1980. Past 1980, all Superman movies have sucked. Until this year. Finally, we get a good Superman movie. It has been so long. Not only that, man, I feel like I gotta give this Superman movie a lot of credit because it really reignited my interest in the DC universe and the DC characters. Because I've always preferred DC to Marvel, and I think this was just a nice reminder of like, hey, remember when you used to care about DC? And I'm like, you're right, Superman. I did like DC. Let's get back into that. Let's dig into that a little more. I did a whole podcast about DC over on my second channel where I drank some weird soda. Do I get up and get another, or do I finish talking about Superman? I mean, I like it all. I think the guy they got playing Superman is great. I think the Lois Lane they got is great. I'm really happy to see Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I'm really happy to see Guy Gardner in a movie. I'm really happy to see a good Green Lantern movie. I like the political undertones of the movie. I like that on the one hand, this could be any country. But on the other hand, it's definitely Israel. It feels like the right Superman movie. It feels like the right Superman movie for now. For the time we are living in. And I really appreciated it. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad James Gunn is at the helm of DC, because he seems to actually know what he's doing and can actually make good movies. I dare say, excluding The Batman, he's probably made the only good superhero movies of this decade. The only good comic... Oh, and Spider-Verse. Only good live-action comic book movies of this decade. Also, People's Joker. But that one's unofficial, so maybe we don't count that. I really liked Superman. Superman was a really good one. Apple mango soda from Korea. This is alcoholic. I have work later. I can't do an alcoholic. So, here's Christmas Ramune. The thing I don't like very much about Ramune, you cannot drink it very fast. Oh, that's nice. That's like caramely. Tiramisu flavor. Interesting. That's kind of a good flavor. Never had tiramisu soda, but that's really good. That's a good flavor. The Day the Earth Blew Up, the new Looney Tunes movie that Warner Brothers refused to release because for some reason David Zaslav bought the Looney Tunes company even though he hates the Looney Tunes. But luckily, someone was there to release it theatrically anyways, and I'm glad they did, and they received my money, and Warner Brothers can suck a dick. This is such a fun movie. This might be the best Looney Tunes. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, this is the best Looney Tunes movie. Not that it has the greatest competition, but I feel certain this is the greatest Looney Tunes movie. It's really well animated. It's really funny. It has this like zany energy that like so many other Looney Tunes projects are missing. Like none of them are going all out the way this has. It feels like the type of thing that would have played on Cartoon Network in my childhood, and that I like regular airings on Cartoon Network, and I would have just eaten it up. Like any time this would have been on, I would have been watching it. I think Porky and Daffy are hilarious in this. I think it's great that they brought back Petunia. I think it's great that they made a Looney Tunes movie and didn't feel the need to force Bugs Bunny in there at any point. There's like an alien in this, and he's like a completely new alien character. I love him. He's hilarious. But of course, none of that compares to the funniest character in this movie, Farmer Jim. Holy shit, I love Farmer Jim. Just, I don't know, if you love the Looney Tunes, check out The Day the Earth Blew Up. And if you don't love the Looney Tunes, the fuck is wrong with you? The Phonecian Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie. I am on the record as someone who is still absolutely on board for Wes Anderson's new movies. I will say the Phonecian Scheme is the one where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm getting a little sick of some of this. Maybe a little, this is a little repetitive. Maybe a little, like, this is really on the nose, Wes Anderson. But I don't know, he keeps trying new stuff. There's always something new happening in the movies. So I don't know what people's problems are. In this one in particular, he gets a lot more political in this one than he usually does. Sometimes like a lot of it is on the surface, but sometimes it's in like subtle ways too, even. It's the way Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks show up on screen holding chocolate bars and Coca-Cola when they're the ones that run like the slave labor mines. I don't know. I was still plenty on board with this movie. It's a fantasy for sure. There's like political as it gets. It's a Wes Anderson movie, and it's gonna have like kind of a happy ending. So it's a fantasy, but it's a fun fantasy. I love Michael Cera in this. I can't believe Michael Cera hasn't been in a Wes Anderson movie before. He feels like a perfect fit, and he is so funny in this. They do a gag of him like he's this like bookish school teacher, and then he's like, oh, actually, I was undercover this whole time. I'm actually a suave French agent. And he, like, takes the college professor stuff off and is like, cool. And it's like, what? Holy shit. I don't know. It's really funny. I liked the Phonecian Scheme. If you're not keeping up with modern Wes Anderson, you're missing out. The Phonecian Scheme was fun. It did have some like really over the top Wesisms that I'm like, all right, dial it back. Like his last two films, Asteroid City, I thought was great, and French Dispatch I think is one of his best. Honestly, I think it's like a top 3 Wes Anderson movie. This one probably on the lower end of Wes movies, but you know, he's a director that makes a lot of great movies, so that's no crime. It's still perfectly enjoyable. I enjoyed the Phonecian Scheme a lot. Up next, we're talking about Weapons. Weapons is so phenomenally shot and is just such a fun horror movie. It's a great time. I really enjoy it. There is also clearly like an allegorical side to this film, and I'm not really sure they followed that through all the way to the end. Like there is this idea that the thing that is happening in this film is sort of analogous to school shootings. Clearly school shootings is the thing it's about. There's a moment in the film where someone just sees like a giant floating gun in the sky, and it's like, no, this can't be about anything. This is about school shootings. This cannot be about anything else. It is about school shootings. But then, like, the end of the movie, it's like, okay, but what does that have to do with... I mean, the very end, obviously. The very, like, the final moments of the film, I get it. But, like, the climax of the film... I don't really... It feels like you had an allegory here, but then you sort of abandoned it in favor of just making a cool horror movie. And to be fair, you made a really cool horror movie. Like, take the fucking allegory away. It's fun. It's a hell of a good time. It's well structured. I love the way... Like every chapter is about a different person and their story and how it all sort of adds up to this bigger picture. But I feel like they had a bit of an idea for the allegorical stuff, but not enough to like take it through to the end. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to give it another watch. Maybe it'll make more sense on a second go through, but on my first viewing, I am struck by the fact that the ending doesn't really seem to tie in to the rest of the like themes of the film, the like message. But I mean, I love the performances. I love the creepy children. I love the creepy old lady. I love the climb. I like, despite complaining about it not really tying into the themes of the film, it's fun as hell. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed Weapons. I just maybe wish there was a little more thought put into it. Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out movie, and the most recent one I have watched, unless I insert myself talking about Bugonia in here. I really like the Knives Out series. I love these, like, comedy mystery films. And I especially love this one because it really plays into the tropes. It goes really over the top with it. It does a lot of really fun stuff. The main character is a priest who used to be a boxer who killed a guy in the ring. Like, that's classic Hollywood shit, man. I love it. I love the film's reflection on religion, and Christianity in specific. It's a film I want to say, like, clearly, I feel like watching this, Rian Johnson probably sides much more with Mr. Benoit Blanc, the non-believer who comes at all of this, you know, from a more scientific, more, I don't know, less dogmatic point of view. But I think the film is incredibly sympathetic to its Christian lead, as well as, like, some of the other Christian characters in this. I think it's a film I want to say Christians should be able to watch and not be offended by, but I'm gonna caveat that a little. This is a movie good Christians can watch and not be offended by. The really shitty Christians are going to watch this movie and see themselves reflected very plainly, and they're going to be upset about it. I think it's a very nuanced take on Christianity, one that shows, like, the good and the bad, that shows the good people trying to spread this message of love, and the bad people who are using it for their own pride and their own ego, just to, like, push some agenda they have. And I think that's a much more interesting way to approach it than as, like, you know, the pure non-believer who hates all of it, right? But it's not letting Christianity off too easy, because it definitely has those bad Christians in there. and those bad Christians will know who they are. I mean, the Knives Out series has always been like a pretty liberal series, a pretty politically left series, so it's kind of clear which Christians they are sympathetic with. Although I don't know, there's even there's a character in here who's like using Christianity to like she's disabled, but she has this hope that maybe like someday she'll be able to like she'll be healed through Christ, that this insane pastor that leads this like little congregation is going to save her, is going to heal her someday. And that's, I mean, I think even like most of the bad Christians it's pretty sympathetic with. Most of the bad Christians it tries to like, you know, like, where are you coming from with this? Like, why are you behaving in this way? I don't know. It's probably my favorite of the Knives Out films, if I'm being honest. I think it's the funniest. I think it covers the most interesting themes. I don't know if it's the strongest mystery. Not that I dislike the mystery necessarily, although there's maybe aspects of it I'm not that into. Also, it feels really similar to that fucking Sherlock Holmes movie. The who did that? Guy Ritchie. The Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. It feels a little similar to the mystery in that one. Different enough resolution, but still, like, the overlap is unquestionably there. Rian Johnson at this point, I think, has made as many Knives Out movies as he has other movies. And I don't know, he does better with these than he's done with anything else. Let him keep making them forever. I do think there's probably an expiration date on this series. At some point, he's gonna lose it. But so far, he's put out 3 bangers. So just let him keep making Knives Out movies forever. How did that end up there? That should be ranked higher. I'm gonna have to edit this a little later into the video. That's gonna be a weird continuity with the soda, but I'm looking at the list now and I'm like, how did this like, these next 2, I'm gonna rank it above. Alright, let's get to it. K-pop Demon Hunters. This sounds like a concept that was manufactured specifically to appeal to, like, Gen Z. Like, the characters are all making, like, reaction GIF faces the whole movie. It taps into, like, 2 of Gen Z's favorite things, K-pop and demon hunting. Also, it's very anime inspired. But as it turns out, one of the things Gen Z really likes is good animation. So that's nice. It's also just got a really good story. I think it actually, like, really works. Some of the reaction GIF faces can get annoying, but I'm like overall, really solid movie. Really good movie. I would not be disappointed at all by this one winning Best Animated Feature, which it feels like it probably will. Maybe they'll give it to Disney for Zootopia 2. I don't think that'd be horrible, but, like, I'd still definitely prefer K-pop Demon Hunters by, like, a lot. I do also disagree with their pick for Best Song, because, like Golden, it's the fun pop jam, right? But it's the fun pop jam they have at, like, the beginning of the movie. But then they're like, oh, we need to find, like, that real song. We need to dig deep and write, like, our song, the important song, the song we're supposed to write. And it builds to this great climax where they sing This Is What It Sounds Like, and, like, clearly that's the best song. That's the song the whole movie builds to. It's this, like, really great, emotionally resonant moment, and it's like, why fucking Golden? Because it's like the popular one? Because it's the pop hit? No. That's what it's supposed to be, the cheap pop hit. You know, the fun bubblegum pop hit. Oh, there goes the bottle opener. This is what it sounds like, is the song that, like, the movie is building to. You're wrong. You're wrong. This is what it sounds like is the best song from this movie. I'm not even an especially big pop fan, which is maybe why I don't like Golden nearly as much as everyone else does, and prefer the more, like, emotionally resonant song. But I don't know. To me, that is just, like, obviously the best song of the film. And yeah, I think that's about all I have with that one. It's, you know, it's Sony doing the Spider-Verse style again. I will say, not thrilled that it's a Netflix exclusive. Would really have appreciated a Blu-ray of this one. Do you want to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, or are you just gonna stare at me?
I do, but you started it while I was in the middle of brushing my hair and I haven't gotten out of my pajamas yet.
Well, then why are you just sitting there?
I'm sitting here because I'm not camera ready, you dingus.
What is this? So, I gave you all that time to get camera ready.
No, you didn't. Put me there. K-pop Demon Hunters is a movie with a lot of layers to it. It's a movie that, like, both criticizes the pop industry while also being respectful of pop music as a genre. I don't think I've ever seen, like such a movie, like, actually, because pop music is, like, the big genre of music that everybody gets to disrespect. Like, it's, like, the obvious, like, oh, I listen to anything but pop music. It's either that or rap or country. It's those three. Everybody's like, oh, well, whatever.
I think I'm the only one who's... I listen to everything but pop. That's just me. That's just a me thing.
But I think it has a lot of respect for the genre, but also while being able to criticize the industry as well. Like, one of my favorite, I really, really like the demon song at the end. I really like Your Idol. I think it's a great villain song, and I think it has the most, like, layers to it in terms of, like, how it talks about how like, people are gripped by that industry, how, like, especially in K-pop especially, I think a lot of artists do have a lot of... They are supposed to be these perfect beings for people to obsess over. And that's kind of the whole thing with the demons, with the Shaja boys. It's very much like, we are creating you to be an object of obsession. And in that, you have to project perfection, which is also, like, another, like, emotional core of the movie. It's about how it's toxic perfectionism. It is projecting this perfect part of yourself and rejecting any sort of messiness, both physically and emotionally, and just not being real, being like this very perfect, very plastic version of yourself. But in terms of, like, what K-pop artists go through, it's a lot of... It is a lot of, like, toxic perfectionism in the industry. It is a lot of, like, being an object to be obsessed over, and then using that obsession to sell yourself and sell the product even more. Which is a lot of the pop industry everywhere, but it's just, I've heard a lot about K-pop specifically. I have a lot more to say about it, but do you want to move on? There's a lot of good emotional cores to this movie, and that's what I like about it.
Okay.
This movie is very emotionally sound.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Give me a kiss.
Alright, 2 sodas is enough. We're having water now. But I got my Universal Monsters cup so we can talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I think this one's a little overly long, and I could understand someone being a little exhausted with it. But it is undeniably my shit. I love Frankenstein, I love Del Toro, I love the themes and ideas they choose to explore in this film. Like, there's like religious themes as well as like themes of fatherhood and generational trauma, you know, passing down the abuse you received onto your own children. There's a surprising amount of explosions in this movie. So overall, I don't think I could have asked for a better Frankenstein movie. I was really into this one. It pulls a lot from the book without being overly reverent of the book, because the book has its issues. It's not very well paced, if I'm being honest. So I really appreciate what he's done with the source material for this one. I will say, I feel like some of Guillermo del Toro's style is lost in that, like, A24-esque sheen. And I'm sure, like, down the road, future generations will look back on this time and marvel at how well shot films are. But living through it, I'm like, man, am I getting sick of this, like, same aesthetic for, like, every fucking movie, man. For, like, a decade now. Every, like, kinda artsy, kinda indie film, they all just look the same. Like, and it looks nice. It's good looking. But, like, God, I'm just getting kind of tired of it. I said this exact same thing about Nosferatu last year. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired of seeing this exact same aesthetic in every kind of artsy movie. Also, I really respect Del Toro's dedication to practical effects, because the CG in this movie is fucking terrible. Like, it is some awful CG. So, great practical effects. All the sets were great. The, like, big exteriors were all great. Boy, is the CG bad. Also, this is, like, a really grand movie. It feels like the type of thing that would have been fantastic to see in a movie theater, and fuck you, Netflix, for not giving it a wide release. You fucking pieces of shit. Oscar Isaac is great in this movie. Mia Goth is great in this movie. I forget who plays the monster, but he does great too. All 3 of them are really phenomenal. Christoph Waltz is in there too, and he does a pretty fun job as well. I love the really obvious Hellraiser influence on this movie. Like, this is a Frankenstein movie that feels inspired by Hellraiser. So that's something I love to see. I love the Hellraiser aesthetic to this film. It's gory. Like, this, people might have a hard time getting through this one, because there is a lot of, like, viscera in this movie. Yeah, I really love this Frankenstein movie. I've seen better. I like the Universal Frankenstein better, which is not something I will say for all of the Universal monsters. The Universal's Dracula is not that great, but Universal's Frankenstein phenomenal, and Bride of Frankenstein doubly so. I love Bride of Frankenstein. Not my favorite Del Toro either, although it might rank high. I don't know. I'd have to look at because Del Toro does a lot of good stuff. So I don't know. This might rank. I feel like it would probably rank in like the middle. I feel like this would rank right in the middle of Del Toro's filmography. But I'd have to like actually have his entire filmography in front of me to say that. I don't know. It's a good one. I recommend it. All right, here we are, my top 3. And what do you know? It's the 3 frontrunners for Best Picture? Like, how the fuck did that happen? That never happens. I'm usually shit-talking the frontrunners, or it'll be like a movie I really liked and a movie I really didn't like going neck and neck. Like, last year was Nora and Emilia Perez, and I'm like, please be a Nora. Please be a Nora. It was. So. Anyways, coming in 3rd place, Marty Supreme. The new... It's just one of the Safdies movie. I want to say it's Benny. Why do I feel like it's not, though? Okay, it was Josh. It was Josh Safdie. Because Benny's, like, mostly gone off to be an actor at this point. Josh is the one carrying the flame of filmmaking. And thematically, it feels like it slots right in alongside, like, Uncut Gems and Good Time. I would even say, in a lot of ways, it feels like Uncut Gems 2, almost. Because, I mean, there's a lot of similar stuff in presentation. Like the opening credits scene of this film and the opening scene of Uncut Gems both remind me of each other. They're both these characters who are way too egotistical and get in way over their heads on everything. You know, they're struggling to get by, but they try to weasel their way out of stuff and almost always just get themselves in even deeper. And I feel like in a similar way, like Uncut Gems is definitely playing off of like the type of character Sandler typically plays. It feels like, what if one of Adam Sandler's annoying douchebag characters was suddenly a real guy? And in that same way, Marty Supreme, I almost feel, is playing off of, like, Timothée Chalamet's public image in a very interesting way. I think it's the most interesting performance I've ever seen from Chalamet. Like, I don't love him, but, like, he did pretty good in this one. Do I think he deserves Best Actor? No, but, you know, I think he deserves the nomination at the very least, and I don't think I could say that about any of his previous performances. I do worry it falls in the shadow of Uncut Gems a little bit, you know, because Uncut Gems it does it so much better, frankly. Like, I just look at this and I'm like, okay, this is all great, but there's nothing I get out of this film that I couldn't also get from Uncut Gems. And one thing Uncut Gems has that Marty Supreme lacks is just, like, the ending. You get to the ending and you're like, yeah, that was always gonna happen. And you get to the end of Marty Supreme and it's like, that just doesn't feel like where this character ends up. I'm sorry, like, if they had built to it a little better, if they had tried to earn it a little more, maybe, but it feels like it's acting like character growth has happened when no character growth has happened. And I am perfectly okay with no character growth happening. Marty is a shitty dude, and everyone around him sucks just as much as he does. Like everyone else sucks to the point you get to the end of the movie and he has like the big match, you know, the big ping pong match, and you're honestly rooting for him because, like, fuck everyone else, man. But Marty himself is also a little creep, so you're not rooting for him too much. I still think something bad should have happened to him at the end. And that just didn't happen. It's like there's got to be a point where all of this catches up with him, and it just kind of doesn't. I feel like Tyler, the creator, plays a character in this movie, which is crazy, and he doesn't feel like he belongs in the 1920s at all. But his character just kind of gets dropped. He just kind of disappears, even though, like, they say, like, oh, hey, Marty, he was looking for you. You better go talk to him. And then he just never does. That character's just never seen again. I don't know. I feel like the ending was missing something. And I feel like ultimately this film will always live in the shadow of Uncut Gems, which is why it has ended up only in third place. Still a fantastic film. Still very enjoyable. I loved it. Get wrecked, Marty Supreme. You are no longer top 3, because I finished Bugonia in time for the Oscars. It was really good. I really liked Bugonia. I am a real sucker for the aesthetics of suburban decay, and this movie definitely highlights that. It doesn't play hugely into the film, but it definitely ties into, like, the themes and ideas of the film, right? It's a film about, like, you know, when things have gone to shit, when things have gone bad in a world where people are constantly grabbing for some semblance of stability and power in a world where it is constantly being robbed for us. That is fertile ground for dangerous conspiracies to grow. And I mean, especially this character, the Jesse Plemons character, seems especially troubled by many of the things going on in his life in particular. And I think it's even worth saying he has chosen a not totally undeserving victim. Like, obviously there's a lot underlying that. There's a lot that clearly went into that decision for him, but, like, she's such an evil corporate bitch. Like, I think it's hilarious that she continues doing the, like, corpo speak when, like, tied up in these dudes' base, even after they have revealed that they're these, like, insane alien conspiracy guys. She's given this, like, well, you know, let's start a dialogue. I think we got off on the wrong foot. And it's like, oh my god. Can you drop the corporate bullshit for, like, 2 fucking seconds? And that's the other thing. Like, it has a lot to say. I think probably maybe has more to say than, like, most of Lanthimos' movies. I like Yorgos Lanthimos for the most part, especially what he's been doing lately. But this is maybe his deepest film, and it's also extremely funny. Like, more so than his other films. Like, this is a funny movie. This is a really funny movie. I got some really good laughs out of this. Jesse Plemons is really funny in this. I mean, Emma Stone is funny in this too. I like the other guy they're with. Apparently, this is like he's in like one other movie, and not even like a big role in that other movie. This is like his only movie, but he does. I really enjoyed him. He looks like guys I have known. He like my roommate was saying he looks familiar, and I'm like, I think he just kind of has one of those faces, you know? He looks like people I have known in my real life. So yeah, I really liked this one. It's got a lot to say. It's got some great performances. It's really funny. Now we have to talk about spoilers. So you could, if you haven't seen Bugonia, just go ahead and skip to when I'm sitting back down at the desk over here. Because now we're going to talk about the ending of Bugonia. I did not trust Yorgos Lanthimos at all to not actually put an alien at the end. I totally expected him to just be like, yeah, no, the aliens were actually real. Which, to an extent, almost undercuts the message. Not totally. Like, you can still, like, look at reality and, like, apply this to reality and say, like, okay, the aliens aren't actually real. That part is a joke. And it's still, like, all of this applies to reality. But still, like, it undercuts the message a little bit. I also think that ending scene just went on too long. It's like, we get it. We get it. She's actually an alien. And then she kills all life on Earth. And it's... It feels like him just like blowing his budget because like most of the movie all takes place in one house, so it's like blow the budget on the ending, have a huge montage showing like all these people dead, but it goes on too long. That ending gag goes on too long. Otherwise, this is a phenomenal movie. I like basically everything about this movie. It's a really good one. Third place, knocking Marty Supreme out of the top 3. That does mean my top 3 are no longer the front runners for Best Picture, because I don't think this one stands that much of a chance. But I mean, maybe it could. Like, maybe I'll look like a complete idiot, and Bugonia will win Best Picture. I don't know, but I don't see it winning. Anyways, that's the Bugonia segment. John Waters T-shirt to express my disdain for the Oscars. One battle after another. This is the film of now. This is the film of 2025. You want to know what the vibe of 2025 was? You want to know how we were all feeling in 2025? Here it is. Holy shit. Like, I would really like to see One Battle After Another win Best Picture purely on the grounds that, like, it is so relevant. It is so plugged in to the zeitgeist of now. Right, I feel like this really taps into what we are all feeling in this current political moment. I don't know, it really resonated with me. I'll tell you that much. And it's a very fun movie. My god, is this a fun movie. It's just this big action rescue adventure that has all these like weird twists and turns to it. All the characters are so fun and ridiculous. I love how silly some of this movie can get. Like the Christmas adventures, that's hilarious. That's so funny. And they're so pathetic. Oh my god, Sean Penn. Like, oh, he's not the greatest dude, but god, he was so perfect for this role. God, this is such a perfect... He nailed it. I would not really be upset with him winning Best Supporting Actor for this. He was really funny in that movie. Also, Leo's doing great in this movie. Like, this is like... I hate to say one of Leo's greatest performances because he is always doing so well, but he does really good in this one. Benicio del Toro's fun. I mean, everything in this movie is fun. This is just a fun movie. Like that's the thing. Like it really captured like the vibe, but it's still so fun. I really loved One Battle After Another. It was a really good time. I said when I saw it, I felt like it was a tad overrated because it was only my second favorite movie and like maybe a 9 out of 10. I stand by that. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. And it is still only my second favorite movie of the year. Would not be disappointed, again, would not be disappointed at all to see this one win Best Picture. But, you know, there is one more movie I liked a little more than this. It's Sinners. And I feel like it is probably going to be between one of those two. Marty Supreme has an outside chance, but I think the thing with One Battle, like I would say it would be One Battle After Another, almost certainly, if it weren't for how overtly political that movie is. I mean, I saw like someone posting before I went to see the movie, like, One Battle After Another, this movie hates conservatives, and I'm like, that's a surprisingly self-aware. They don't tend to notice when they're being made fun of. But then I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, you can't really miss that, can ya? So I wonder if the politics of the movie is maybe gonna make it less appealing to some, and then it's gonna ultimately lose out to Sinners, which I think is the clear runner-up here. Again, Sinners is my favorite movie of the year, so I wouldn't be upset about that winning Best Picture at all either. Like, Sinners or One Battle After Another, both great picks. See, one battle after another is the movie of 2025. Sinners, I think, is timeless. I think this is like an instant classic. This one is going to be around forever. There is one scene in this movie, and if you've seen the movie, you know what scene it is. A big musical number dance scene. I think that might be the best scene in any film this decade, maybe even this century. That is one of the greatest scenes I have seen in any film, like, ever. I think it will eternally be in the discussion of, like, greatest film scenes. This big musical number in the middle of the movie. I also love that it's about vampires. It's very From Dusk Till Dawn, I think. It hints at the vampires a lot better than From Dusk Till Dawn, but I mean, this and From Dusk Till Dawn, I think, are going for very, very different things. Really, the only overlap is that they're hanging out at a club and vampires show up and start killing people. But you know, I think it's fun that the movie's about vampires. I think everyone in this movie is doing great. Like the main kid, this is like his first film, I think, and he did great. I love all the ladies in the film. I love Michael B. Jordan as both Smoke and Stack. I didn't know he played two characters. When I saw this in theaters, Smoke and Stack came on screen, and I'm like, is that Michael B. Jordan? And then I looked at the other one and I'm like, oh no, that one's Michael B. Jordan. And I looked back to the first guy to try to figure out who he was. And I'm like, I think that's also Michael B. Jordan. That's the same guy, right?
I was fooled into thinking Michael B. Jordan actually had a twin for a second.
Michael A. Jordan.
Yeah.
Probably Ryan Coogler's best movie. A fantastic film. I really liked Sinners. Just everything about it. There have been horror movies that have won. That's the reason I would say it's probably one battle over another, one battle after another over Sinners, is because the Academy doesn't like horror that much. But there have been horror movies that won Best Picture. Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture. Is that the only one? That might be the only one. I'd have to double check. I feel like there was a second one though. But yeah, that was my favorite movie of 2025. I think that covers it. 2025, not a bad year for film. Plenty of good stuff. I should have seen a little more. I feel like I should have seen more. But, you know, I had a good time. I again, like everything on this list was pretty decent, pretty watchable. So, nothing too bad here. And I think I'm going to call it there. Have a nice day.